It's Friday, the 18th of September, 2020. Hello and welcome to Joy News at 6 with me, Bernice Abubedulansa. The news is live on Joy 99.7 and hits 103.9 FM in Accra, on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, Swiss FM in Ho, affiliates across the country and worldwide at myjoyonline.com. 15 severe COVID-19 cases, 5 critical and 2 persons on a ventilator. COVID is real. Please wear a mask and stay safe. Coming up this morning, the NPP candidate for Adentan constituency insists he's delivered unprecedented development and deserves to be retained. But the NDC's parliamentary candidate says the time for change is now. We hear what the Abuabia Samuel and Mohammed Ramadan had to say on the maiden edition of this year's Battleground Show.
The people of Adenta within the past 3.5 years have noticed a gigantic difference compared to the 8 years the NDC were in power before.
He's saying that the understanding is that he should continue. I believe that this understanding only exists in his house.
Also, a Sin Central MP, Kennedy Japan, named one of 3 top abusive politicians on radio in a latest language monitoring report. Meanwhile, Mr. Japan's lawyers are at the Supreme Court seeking for the High Court contempt case to be quashed.
And later in business, strong performance of Cedi this year largely attributed to Bank of Ghana's intervention in the forex and diversified exports market rather than a slightly weaker US dollar. We'll tell you more.
A National Road Safety Authority says motorcycles have moved from 9th contributor of road deaths and injuries 10 years ago to 2nd this year.
10 years ago, they were number 9. Today, they are number 2. The last 10 years, cycle fatalities have gone up by 400%. If you take it to 2001, they've gone up by over 1,000%.
We've got details in a moment. Please stay. This is your election headquarters, and there's one seat for grabs, but the NPP and NDC parliamentary candidates in their Denton constituency are both confident they'll be victorious in the December polls. Surely there'll be joy and disappointment after the elections. The two locked horns on the maiden edition of the Battleground here on Joy FM last night, hosted by Emefa Apau. Joseph Opoku Gakpo has our top story this morning.
Last night's show brought to listeners an in-depth analysis of the trends in the Adentan constituency.
The water situation has improved, but what I'll say about the people of Adenta is that a lot of them have learned to be self-sufficient. They will show you
by voting, okay.
There were the residents who rooted for the incumbent Yabuabenga Samuel.
Why be twaso form for Nana?
And those who strongly backed the NDC's Adamu Ramadan.
We prefer Ramadan, and he'll come.
Both men say they are cruising to victory.
I'm very, very confident that the people of Adenta within the past 3.5 years have noticed a gigantic difference compared to the 8 years the NDC were in power before.
He's saying that the understanding is that he should continue. I believe that this understanding only exists in his house. From the people you spoke to, it's very evident that people really desire change in this constituency. God willing, Mohammed Adam Ramadan is going to be the member of parliament for Adenta constituency.
Our analysts also had their say.
If you look historically, the cast are stuck against Babia Samoa in terms of the pure history. What the history tells us.
The fact is that no MP has retained.
Exactly, no MP has retained.
Well, Lejakuku is the next stop for our Battleground analysis next week.
This is your election headquarters, and as you know, we'll definitely bring you more compelling content related to the elections coming up shortly in December. Now, the new Patriotic Party's Ashanti Regional Chairman, Bernard Entry-Boesianko, popularly known as Chairman Wuntumi, has been named as the most abusive politician on radio. That's according to the Media Foundation for West Africa's latest language monitoring report for August. He's closely followed by the MPP's Bono Regional Chairman, Kwame Bafo, popularly known as Abronia DC, and as Sin Central MP, Kennedy Japan. My colleague Winston Amwa joins me in studio with details. So, Winston, how many incident expressions were recorded?
So, a total of 99 indecent expressions were recorded by 34 individuals. The 99 indecent expressions are made up of insulting and offensive comments, unsubstantiated allegations, threats, provocative expressions or comments promoting divisiveness. Now, the NPP recorded 50 indecent expressions, followed by the NDC with 9, PPP P3 and GCPP2. The Ghana Freedom Party and the Liberal Party of Ghana recorded 1 indecent expression each.
And the report also segmented radio stations that recorded indecent expressions. Winston.
So 12 out of 15 radio stations monitored recorded indecent expressions. Kumasi-based Wontumi Radio recorded 34 indecent expressions on its morning show, and Accra-based Oman FM recorded 28 indecent expressions on 2 of its major programs, that's Boiling Point 24 and National Agenda 4, while Kumasi-based Ash FM recorded 28 indecent expressions across 3 programs, Boiling Point, Keynote, and National Agenda. And Power FM, also based in Accra, recorded 14 indecent expressions, all on its afternoon political show, Inside Politics.
Winston Amwatha with details of the Media Foundation for West Africa's latest language monitoring report for August. Let's move on to some other stories now. Since Central MP Kennedy Ohene-Agyapong is at the Supreme Court this morning seeking to halt contempt proceedings against him, and Accra High Court, presided over by Justice Amos Wuni, has ordered the MP to show up and explain why he should not be severely punished for comments he made about a judge with the court deemed disrespectful. He failed to show up on Monday over claims he was unaware of the proceedings, causing the court to fix the matter for today. But his lawyers want the apex court to stop it entirely. Court correspondent Joseph Akable joins us with more. Why is the Supreme Court being asked to intervene, Joseph?
Mr. Agyapong says the comments he made, which the court deems to be in contempt, was not directed at this particular judge, but rather another High Court judge. He explains that he has since apologized to this judge and therefore does not see why this judge should be intervening. So he wants the court to stop Justice Wuni from proceeding.
And we understand that Mr. Agyapong has been explaining why he failed to show up in court, including insisting that he was always available to be served the documents.
In fact, he says he does not believe the claim that attempts were made to serve him and they didn't find him. He insists it's a notorious fact that he's always available at Net 2 and in Parliament.
Finally, Joseph, is the Supreme Court not on vacation? And what does this mean for the case this morning?
Yes, the Apex Court is on vacation. The High Court will call the case this morning, and we understand Mr. Agyapong's lawyers will inform the judge that they have filed an issue at the Supreme Court and that he should not proceed. The court will then have to make a determination whether or not that process stops it from going ahead or not.
Court correspondent Joseph Akable there. Now, the National Road Safety Authority says motorcycles have moved from 9th contributor of road deaths and injuries 10 years ago to 2nd this year. The debate to legalize Okada or not continues to dominate political discussions, with the opposition NDC saying the state will buy motorbikes for riders on a high purchase arrangement. Here's Head of Regulation, Inspection and Compliance at the authority, Kwame Kodia-Tuahene, with his view on the safety of motorcycles.
If you look at the data very closely, if you take out pedestrians, the next most vulnerable user class to traffic deaths and injuries are motorcyclists. 10 years ago, they were number 9. Today, they are number 2. The last 10 years, cycle fatalities have gone up by 400%. If you take it to 2001, they've gone up by over 1,000%, because potentially the enabling conditions are not right. If you look at even our road infrastructure elsewhere, the roads are designed to create spaces, lanes, particularly for motor riders.
Kwame Kodia-Tuahene is Head of Regulation, Inspection and Compliance at the National Road Safety Authority. Now, stay safe, wear a helmet if you choose to ride a motorbike, and obey all regulations whilst riding. That's how you arrive alive. Arrive Alive is brought to you by Toyota Ghana, Bedrock Insurance and Logistics Movers. Now, Chief Veterinary Officer at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Dr. William Edu Kuma, is advocating a review of laws on mandatory pet vaccination in the country. According to him, this is one way of ensuring rabies is completely eliminated in Ghana by 2030. Ghana has joined a global campaign dubbed Zero by 30, targeted at completely eradicating rabies-related deaths. Speaking at the launch of the campaign, Dr. Edukuma also admonished pet owners to avail their pets for the nationwide vaccination, expected to reach about 70% of the about 2.4 million dogs in Ghana.
We can only do this if you collaborate. People own animals. So if they don't bring it forward for vaccination, nobody can vaccinate them. If they don't restrain the animals when there's vaccination campaigns, we can't vaccinate. So the collaboration is between all the sectors, the stakeholders, the public, the owners, the animal health sector, the human health, people who provide the resources for vaccination.